we go.
There it is.
I'm trying out a new system to try to get everything to work, and I think it's working. I see my voice going. I see our faces, and all we need is chat. So welcome, everybody. Welcome back after the All-Star break. It's been a long time. We're probably going to have some rust because it's probably been over a week since we've done a show. Yeah, it's been over a week since we did a show. But and Ashwin watched the game, I didn't. So you're going to have to listen to Ashwin tonight for all the analysis tonight.
My analysis is woof, woof, bark, bark.
Howl, howl, yes.
Howl, howl. Oh, yeah. Aroo. Oh, that was the other
some
one.
performer at halftime had everybody howling. He was like...
What?
His
That's
name,
sick.
Yeah, it was... I mean, his performance was all right, but he really got everybody to howl pretty loudly, and I was like, okay, you know, that's good. We got to bring back the moon in Target Center. Got to have that above Section 205. They took away the moon and put like a stats thing, which I guess is better, but...
And then did he accidentally be like, hello, Wisconsin?
No. Who was that performed? I think it was in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Anyways, Timberwolves
Ja
basketball.
Rule.
Ja Rule, that's what it was. Yes.
It was the best.
That was so funny. Legendary NBA moment. But anyway.
How was your break? How was your break, my friend?
My break was pretty good. Honestly, I enjoyed not having Timberwolves basketball for a little while. It was nice to not think about a game every other night or the Timberwolves every back-to-back night. So that was super nice. I was able to just focus on other stuff. I played a lot of video games. I got some new lighting in the room, so we've got some fancy stuff
Look
going
at that
on.
Fucking glow up over there.
Yeah. But
here I am with my white walls and energy drinks. Shit's the same.
I also shaved. Congratulations, chat.
Yeah, it's just for you.
Yeah, it was just for you, really. But yes, we've got Jelson in the chat trying to ratio us somehow in the chat. We've got JBX, we've got Jelson again. We've got 6 cents.
And Jelson, don't forget Jelson.
Oh yeah, Jelson, and then Jelson. And Timberwolves Daily, TD, welcome to whatever our name is. Maybe changing, who knows?
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, man. My
stream completely crashed, so I'm editing an online video frustrated. We're well. Our stream is working, I think. We've got 6 people in here, so I'm pretty happy. But how was your break, Ashwin?
It was great. I didn't watch anything about All-Star break until like 2 a.m. like recaps, and didn't care whatsoever about it. And I came out thinking like, we need to find a big. We need to find a guard that's a little bit more reliable than a Beasley, Noel, like for a playoff push. And just thinking about like off-season signing or like those like buyout kind of clauses and who we could pick up. And that's like that was kind of like my thought process throughout the like these 10 days or whatever that we didn't have a game. And just looking at schedules, like strength of schedules, and looking at comparing other teams and what they could do and what they could push for. And I kind of came a little negative. I kind of came out of the break a little negative, not going to lie. Like I wasn't sure that we were going to even get to the 7th seed here. But wins like this will cure what ails you.
Yeah, for sure. I'm right there with you. I was excited for the All-Star break because it looked like we were deteriorating as a team. And I think we were. But also I was frustrated because at the same time, you have Finch out there saying like, yeah, I wish we stopped talking about being so tired because I think talking about being tired makes us more tired. And to me, that's just telling that like the team is like mentally weak, which I guess makes sense. It's a pretty young team, and like all of our stars are young, but still, that had me worried. And then, Ant not playing really in the the Rising Stars game, the second game at all.
Did that worry you?
That worried me because I was happy because I was like, I want Ant to rest. I don't want Ant to have some fluke injury just because he tried to like dunk on national TV or something. So I was okay with that. But then he was like talking about saving it for the big game, and everybody's like, what, is he coming back for the All-Star game? And I was like, please no, but yes, but no. And that was confusing. So yeah, but suffice it to say, I was super nervous going into this last half of the season, not only just because of how our team was performing near the end of the, not first half, but whatever this was, before the All-Star break, but we have an insane schedule. We're playing the Grizzlies, who have only lost 20 times this year out of their 61 games. So, and tonight was one of them. So, they're a great team. We're playing the 76ers tomorrow night with James Harden, which, I don't know, that could be good for us. Who knows? But there's just a lot of weird stuff happening. We have to play the Warriors next week. We have a terrible schedule, and I was like, man, if we don't come out of a win right out of the All-Star break, that's going to be bad because we could have a bad stretch of like 4 or 5 game loss.
Yeah.
So
Who say
that was my worry.
and that's gonna put us in a big hole that we probably couldn't come out of because there's like less than 30 games left, and to go 500 is not enough, and to
Mm-hmm.
go like 4 or 5 games before you start playing 500 ball is not good enough. And so here we are trying to just like stay ahead and stay afloat of the Clippers and Lakers, and like it's not going to be easy. I'm excited for this like chance for us to be proving ourselves here, but like it's not going to be easy.
Yeah, no. Agree. And it looks like a lot of people in the chat do not want us to change our name. So I guess we'll table that discussion for now. But yeah, no. It's it's important for us because like tonight we played the 3 seed, and if we could be the 6 seed, I mean, obviously we can beat Memphis. We beat Memphis once this year by like 40 or 50 points. Ooh. Tonight we won again. We also did lose to them at least once. But this is a team that clearly we can beat. And I think that's important for us because we need to be fighting for that 6 seed, and it is possible. It certainly is possible. I don't know how Denver's going to do. I like Denver played tonight. They are currently pretty close, honestly, at halftime with the Kings.
Nice.
That would be a huge way to come out of the All-Star break and just incentive for everybody to play tough.
Yeah, for sure.
Speaking of playing tough, I mean, Jared Vanderbilt tonight, there was some talking tonight or before tonight about how Jared Vanderbilt was not feeling well and also kind of had some injuries near the end that was not really discussed that much. Tonight he came out and he was the Vanderbilt of old.
Ooh, I like to hear that. He just needed some rest, man. It just seemed like he just was beat up for all the things that he does and doesn't get to do, so.
Well, yeah, and he definitely does have an excuse because he is like the high energy player.
Yeah.
Same with Pat Bev. Pat Bev came out tonight and looked great energy-wise. Ant came out energy-wise on defense. Offensively, obviously a struggle, but
yeah, it looks like it.
But yeah, no, it was a weird game too because the way it started off, I was messaging in the Discord. Shout out the Discord. Shout out to you. Yeah, shout out Discord. We started terrible. Like it was like all-star game defense, all-star game offense for both teams. It's just that eventually I think Memphis does have a few more skilled players than we do. And they were just executing. Even though it was not great, they were executing. And they were up like 21-11 or 21-10 or something like that at some point in the first quarter. And it looked like a typical this is going to be a bad Timberwolves game against Memphis, where Memphis just out hustles, out everything's us. Also interesting, I don't know if this is normal for them, but they started Steven Adams over Jaren Jackson Jr. Is that normal?
They started both of them.
They started both of them.
They usually do. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Maybe I just didn't notice. I just figured maybe I just heard Steven Adams and I was like, "What? Steven Adams is the starting lineup." But but yeah, okay.
Yeah, usually when Steven Adams is in, Jaren Jackson's kind of on the perimeter, and maybe you don't see him because it's like a lot of pick and roll with Morant and Adams, and then Bane in the corner. Coming into this game, All-Star break, there's gonna be rust abound, and you kind of expect that. And a team that's a little bit more prevalent with the foundation and the 3 seed is going to probably play better and up to their standard than we are as our floor. Our team didn't hang out with each other at all. They all was like, and All-Star break, and they just like bolted for every other end of the earth and their home and everything. So they probably came back like I don't know, like Tuesday night, and they're like, all right, what do we do now?
Yeah.
Give us the game plan. Yeah. So that's kind of my excuse / theory about how we started. But give me the breakdown. How was it like in the arena, and to have basketball back at TC First Ave, and then also generally this first half, how did it feel to like just see a game again?
It felt good to see a game again. I mean, I just, I am unfortunately DLO's worst fan. I am quiet at games. I'm not super loud, especially when I'm there by myself like I was tonight.
Did you stand or did you stand?
Oh, I stood. I really did. I wasn't leaning on my chair or anything. I actually stood.
So cute.
in the second level. But I did stand, and unfortunately the Timberwolves did make us stand for a while again to start the game. But the crowd was into it. I got off topic when I was saying this, but I was messaging the Discord, shout out to Discord, about how quiet and how empty Target Center was. I was super surprised because I was telling Maddie before the game, I was like, there's not that many tickets available for purchase for this game, so I'm expecting it to be almost a sellout. And then I got there, tip-off happened, and the lower bowl was like half empty or worse. And I was like, what's happening? And it didn't look busy out on First Ave. It was like quiet. But then we started playing, and the crowd was actually kind of loud. And I can't remember if it was JJ or Gerald or whoever said it in the chat, but like I think there were a lot of diehard fans there tonight, right off the bat, and they were ready and they were loud. It was active, engaged crowd tonight. But we started off poorly. Once we got into that second quarter, we started to kind of like, I don't know, Finchy must have acted out of character or something. But we started to like actually convert on some buckets. We were hustle plays. I mean, there was one of the loudest plays that I've heard of all of Timberwolves history.
Whoa, what was it?
I tried to post it on Twitter and I messed it up because I put 2 links in the tweet. I'm a failure. But it was Pat Bev on the ground fighting for a loose ball, and he is like tangled up forever seemingly. I don't know how they didn't call a jump ball or something, but then he does this like no look pass from the ground to Vanderbilt, who dunks it, and the crowd went insane. I don't remember if it was the second or third quarter, but it was mid game, and the crowd was like alive.
That's what I dream. I dream to see kind of plays like that, man. I love to see that. So that's good to hear.
It was crazy.
For all of these, all of you lovely people watching it right now, I did not watch a second of this game until like the last 90 seconds. So basically I'm asking questions about the game so I can relive it.
Yeah, no, that's good. And
or live it once.
It was incredible though. And tonight the crowd was totally on Pat Bev's side, and he was the fan favorite tonight. Over DLO, over Ant, over Cat, over anyone. He was the favorite.
Former Memphis Grizzly.
Former Memphis Grizzly, yes, and I see that he's on Twitter already talking some shit. But
that's great.
No, it was really it was a fun game, and it did not start that way, and I did not expect it, which I think probably is more of the reason why I even think it's even better. You know, we started. We'll get into individual player stuff, but I do want to mention Cat. Like Cat kind of had a Cat game tonight where I was not super thrilled with it. He started off and he missed like 3 threes in a row or something like that. Of course, you know, it's just so predictable with Cat, which is what's so frustrating, because it's we're going to come out of the All-Star break where he won the 3-point challenge. He's going to shoot a bunch of threes and brick them. Like, it's just obvious. It's not like he's going to come out and dominate 3-point shots. Like, you know he's going to do that. Also, he's doing these like behind the back, over the head, between the leg passes to Vanderbilt, who has 2 defenders on him under the basket. And, you know, it was just, he had 5 fouls. Vanderbilt actually fouled out tonight.
Oh, really?
I mean, it was just like a Cat game from Cat, and it was frustrating. But at the same time, he was the one making buckets at times that we needed it.
Yeah, I box score watched occasionally throughout the game, and it looked like he was the only one there. There was a little bit of splash of DLO in the middle of the second, and maybe like towards the third, where he had like maybe 16 or 18 points at the end of the third or something. And I was wondering where the offense was coming from, and it looked like Cat was a steady doses of something. But yeah, the 5 fouls has got to be like something that we got to look at and be looking at hard, because like he's the backbone of our team. He's carrying us to whatever we need to go. And if you're going to be unreliably on the court, like that's not setting us up for success.
I will say one thing tonight to give Towns a little bit of credit, but not really a lot, because he still did a lot of his BS with fouls and stuff like that. If we wouldn't have won this game, fans would have started some kind of class action lawsuit against the refs tonight, because
the refs were bad.
It was another really bad ref night against the Timberwolves. I mean, just countless fouls back to back to back to back at one point. It was unbelievable. I mean, I think we started the fourth quarter with like 4 fouls, and I mean 2 of them were like super questionable. But it's more so just that they're like calls that it's like Finch didn't challenge. I don't think he challenged any, but it was like close to being able to challenge it. But at the same time, it's like, how are they going to overturn this? It's too close. You know, it's like, oh well, yeah, sure, I guess he pushed him with his elbow a little bit, but it's like, you know, it's just these kind of halvesy tic-tac fouls that are like, why are you calling this against us, but definitely never against an opposing team, let alone Memphis. I mean, Memphis, their fouling is insane, but I'll get over that. I have a thing with Memphis and their fans, especially, that they drive me insane, so I'm glad we played as a Target Center. Yeah, tonight, I mean, it was just terrible. It was terrible.
Well, Jarrett Culver is the GOAT, so you got to give him that.
Yeah. Culver Goat.
Culver Goat. I will say, without watching, this had a blueprint for a monster blowout by Memphis. This Memphis was going to take us down. And were we out? Were we down? Were we down by a big in this game?
We were
Because
down a bunch.
It seems like with the fouls, with the miscues from the refs potentially, and like with the free throw disadvantage 40-25, it seems like we were not going to be in this game. Like, what changed? What was the mentality? Did they play a different style on Cat that made DLO open? Did they double on Ant so then DLO was open, or what was the strategy there? Did you watch?
Yeah, we were down big. We were down 15 in the first quarter, and it was. It's tricky because I think it really was just lackadaisical when we came into the game. Like, it was on both sides, and then in the second quarter we started to bring it back a little. I think we probably outscored them in the second. We had to have outscored them in the second quarter. But then really, I mean, we just kind of kept winning quarters after that. The first quarter we lost just badly. I think we were down. Let me see. We were down 31-21 after the first. And then every quarter after that, we beat them by like 3 or 4 or 5 points. So we just kind of grind. We just kind of came back very slowly, but it felt like substantial, and it felt I don't know, it felt like a strong comeback where it was like there was never really any point where they took it back insanely. We just kept it. We just kept going. So I don't know if it was any particular one scheme or one player or anything like. I mean, DLO went off in the fourth quarter, which really kind of cemented it for us. But realistically, I mean, we only won the fourth quarter by 4 points. So,
and without him going off, we're not in this game.
Yeah, exactly.
He scored 23 probably in the fourth quarter alone. Outstanding, above A1 tier for him. We'll spoiler there, but we need this DLO, and I can't wait to see this. Maybe we need him to go to Jamaica every other night so we can get this type of effort from him, because he looked on.
Yeah. He did. It was crazy, and it was weird because he actually shot pretty well tonight. But
look at that.
It didn't really show up until the fourth. Like, I didn't feel like he had a good game until the fourth quarter. And I mean, his fourth quarter was insane, but like even just halfway through the first half of the fourth quarter, I was like, oh, feels like DLO's starting to have a good game now. But it was like he kind of already had a pretty decent game. It just didn't feel like it. I think there was a lot of selfish DLO early on in the night where maybe he was just feeling it. I don't know. But it was like plays where, I saw a couple people on Twitter say this, where they're like, there's at least a game or a play or two a game from DLO that just completely takes the offense out of its flow and is totally like just bad. And I think that's to be expected with a player like DLO, who's a shot taker and a shot maker. He's going to take those big shots and big moments. He's also going to miss shots in big moments. So yeah, it was frustrating in the beginning, and I actually thought this was going to be another, I was at the beginning of this game, I was kind of like, man, maybe I'm just totally overestimating what DLO really is for this team. And I'm like, Godfrey was right this whole time. I was like, Godfrey speaks the truth.
Well, anyways, the 1 in every 20 games is not enough to overwrite whatever criticisms we have for D'Angelo. But coming into the fourth quarter, he was 5 for 9. So awesome efficiency, but 9 shots for our $33 million player. Let's talk about that a little bit more. But yeah, taking over the game when we needed it, because we needed it, because no one else was taking it over, and Cat was in foul trouble. It's awesome to see that we had someone take over. He was balling. Incredible, and apparently he accounted for nearly all 28 or 29 of the 35 points. He accounted for all of it. Yeah,
it definitely felt like it. I mean, he was shooting every time I went down. So
cool.
He also, he one of those plays that he did take a shot from the logo at a point. That was I think in the first half, maybe the third quarter. The crowd was ready for it though. They wanted that. They were like, "Oh my god!" The gasp from the crowd was so funny when he did that. But
so according to chat, Cat was tripled tonight considerably in the paint, and it just makes me question All-Star Saturday night. The highlight of All-Star Saturday night was clearly Cole Anthony's in his Timbs, but other than that, was Cat in the 3-point contest. And just thinking about what Cat can be as a 3-point gunner for a team like this who desperately needs points, but also what it could mean for defenses to play against us, it just seems like the space is endless for us when we have Cat on the perimeter. When he's out in the paint, when he's down in the paint, they're tripling him. That should be a lot of space. Why weren't we winning this game because of that? Like, seems like he had some careless turnovers and whatever, but looks like Beasley came to play tonight. Like,
Beasley
was
did.
Beasley a big reason in that first half or second half that we were like considerably like within this game, within reach?
Yeah, oh, I mean, for sure. I mean, Beasley was actually on tonight. You know, he was making shots. He was a big part. I think how many threes did he end up making? 6. Yeah, or no, yeah, 5 of them. 5. He was 5 for 7 from 3. Um, you know, it was one of those nights where like me kind of thinking so highly of Beasley in the first half of the season. Like this is where it's like, okay, he's shooting. His teammates are trusting him with his shot, and he's just gonna take it no matter what. But tonight it went in. You know, he took the same shots he always does, so it wasn't anything different from him from there. But yeah, Towns was doubled and tripled frequently tonight. And I think, you know, Finch has talked about how we want to run through Towns a little bit more this last quarter of the season or whatever. Sorry, I'm
Right.
out of breath for some reason.
No, it's all good.
But so you know he's been he was trying to force the issue a lot tonight, and I think that did hurt. I actually don't think he had any turnovers tonight. I'm looking at if I'm seeing this correct. Oh my goodness,
Who's
Towns. Apparently he didn't have any turnovers, but
this?
however, he was doubled and tripled frequently, and
Yeah.
it did affect the offense. I mean, he was trying to just make it work, and I think that ended up was why he had not the same crazy level of efficiency he had. Usually, you'd see like 13 from 19 or 14 from 19, maybe not 19 shots, because usually, I mean, 19 actually is a bit more than he normally takes, you know, because he usually is somewhere in that like 13 to 15 range. So he had a few more shots,
Yeah.
but I do think that's those shots, similar to some of our kind of banter earlier, is like, you know, I think Towns does take shots that he knows he can make so that he has this higher percentage. And I think tonight he was forced to take some shots that he didn't want to take, especially in the paint. He took threes, but he didn't really. I mean, he only took 4 threes in the night.
Right.
Shout out the over under from the big boy, and which is really close actually. I think it
And
was
that was all in the
5.5.
first half.
Yeah, and they were all right off the bat too, because he had 3 immediately that didn't go, and then he hit a 4, or actually he had 2. Maybe he took a long 2. That's what I'm thinking of. But yeah, no, it just wasn't really falling as much, so he had to figure out different ways, which he did. I mean, 9 of 19 is not bad, um, but yeah, no, it was good. And you know, honestly, perhaps we should just jump straight into the tier list
Let's do it. Yeah.
and get
A
into
little
that.
rusty here in terms of getting into the flow of things, but yeah, like not without seeing this game, it just seems like there was a heavy dose of like one player taking over a moment and then the other player taking over a moment, and like kind of everyone kind of staying aside. So then like in the third quarter, Beasley pops off for 11, and in the first half, Cat kind of took over, and like Beverly had a monster game from 3. But like the fourth quarter when no one has it running and Cat's in foul trouble, Cat's on the bench, and we have Naz Reid out there, looking like a Naz Reid. Like where is the offense coming from? Jane's in foul trouble. Beverly's kind of getting his rest, and it doesn't looking like a no-show. It's like it's so nice to have that extra player, that extra like lever to pull and push to like find production and find a hot hand. We have never really had that in years past. Maybe you have to go back a couple decades, but also like it also speaks a little negatively about like how our offense is flowing. We don't have a regular system that like finds offense. It's like based on the player more so than a system, right? So the system doesn't find the offense, the player does. And so like moving forward, I hope that we can like gear up defensively and then our offense finds itself in a groove. But like I'm a little worried, right? Just like how we've been kind of trucking along right now.
Yeah. And I guess we will get into the tier list here, but the one thing that I was worried about a little bit throughout this game was, we still like Finch is trying to base all of our offense off of flow, and I think there's many times where the players still don't really fully understand flow, and it's just it was frustrating, especially in the first quarter. It was really frustrating because it seems like players are confused. Like Towns is like expecting Vanderbilt to be someplace else, and he's not. And they're just like there's frustration between the players, and I mean, obviously you want to have feedback between your players, so it's not like you don't want to have these players talking to each other, but it was weird at times, and it's not something. I mean, if we're really jumping ahead here to the playoffs, like I am nervous about the playoffs just because we aren't so polished in our offense. Even though we have like a top 10 offense or whatever, it I don't know how much of that is really based off of like our schemes and everything. Like I think it's just more like we have players that just make buckets, you know. We have Towns he's gonna get 20 plus points a game. We have DLO who has not been super great for us this year, but like he is a 20 plus potential any night. Ant is 20 plus potential. I mean, Jaden is becoming that kind of a player. You've got like Beasley too. So you just have a lot of players that score a lot, offensive minded players. So I think it's kind of one of those situations where you put all these players together. It's kind of no way that they don't have a good offensive flow or score anyways. It's all going to depend on how good our defense can be. And tonight at times it was okay, but fouls just got in the way. Anyways, I'm getting all off on everything, but
get all off.
Let's get all off. Let's jump into the tier list. We do have tier list from JBX in the Discord, or actually before then, I forgot. We should totally do the over-under, which I won, so I can gloat about it. Are you able to pull up the over-under?
I'll do that. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, Cameron with the big 3 out of 4.
Also won my prize picks tonight. Also, it sounds like Jelson also won his prize picks.
Did you guys bet on Cat on Saturday night? Did you at least?
I did because they had a super low over under for his
1,400 to 1.
Well, I didn't do that. I did prize picks, and they said that he was only going to make like 16. At first, it was like 14 threes, and then they bumped it up to 16 threes, and I was like, he's gonna do more than that. I know because he can shoot. And of course, he won. I didn't expect that he would win, but like I knew it was not going to be that low. So
I thought he was going to struggle because it's just like how he would move around. But like apparently with the no jump shot, like he saved so much time that he was like always the first one to finish. Like that's crazy to me. So, you know, I kind of want him to see repeat. Like I want him to do it again because that was kind of fun to watch. Anyways, Carl Anthony Town. This is really hard to read. I got to get better at this. But Cat with the over under was set to 5.5 for 3-point attempts, and he went under with 4. At with the Ant was set to 22.5 points, and he went under with stinker. And then Morant was set at 7.5 assists, and he went under with 4. And I can't read. It is early. And then Wolves first quarter was set at 28.5 points, and we went under with 21 because we sucked. And these are awesome because like I'm never ever going to think like what a first quarter is going to feel like. I just want like energy, and I don't need like an eruption of 40 plus points, but like 28.5 sounds okay, and we just shat the bed, and that totally makes sense.
Yeah, it was But
yeah, thank you, and shout out to the big boy.
Yeah, the over-unders are just fun. They're
and if you want to if you want us to call you something else other than the big boy,
I have offered. I don't think I've heard anything else, so it's the big boy from here on out. But tier list time, and you've got the tier list pulled up as well.
I'm doing that now. Yes.
Perfect. Sounds good. I guess we'll just kind of go. We'll go quickly through some of these first ones, and then we'll linger a little bit longer on the starters and stuff like that. But
since I didn't watch the game, and as I told everyone 1,000 times already, can I announce the stats and shit, and then you just run it?
I like that.
Don't even 3, 2, 1 because I have no stake in this.
True. I can just say them. I can just say my grade, and then you.
I'll give you a 3, 2, 1, but I'm not going to say shit.
Sounds good. Perfect. So we're going to start with Baby Mac, who played 12 minutes at 0 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist.
I feel like you didn't listen to a word I said because I was going to read these out loud.
Oh, I thought. Okay, never mind. I thought you were going to just give me my 3, 2, 1. Okay, sorry. I took over.
Nah, you good. You do what you do as you do because that's what you do.
All right, give me a 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, we're not even going to finish the stat line. Are you ready for Baby Mac in 3, 2, 1?
D.
Just put him flat right there. Stamp. That's where he goes. That's where he is. That's where he biz.
Yeah.
Let's go. I don't even want to talk about it because I don't have anything to talk about. What do you got to talk
block, about?
But sick block. Whatever. But comparatively to the GOAT, Tyus Jones, what did he get for 13.5 minutes? 3 points. Man, that is just insane, insatiable production.
I was kind of worried that apparently he went off for like 27 the other day.
Oh yeah.
But
Torian Prince, 20 minutes, 2 for 8, 1 for 6 from 3. Stats, a single stat on a lot of categories. Plus or minus 3, 5 points. Are you ready? In a 3, in a 2, in a 1.
D.
Put him there. The Chad agrees with you on both J-Mac and Torian Prince. However, J-Mac got a couple C loves.
I think that probably is fair. I mean, we don't really expect. We expect maybe that. We don't expect anything really.
What up,
more
Mass
from
Dexter?
J-Mac, but
I miss you.
Mass Dexter. Whoa, long time no see. Welcome.
The chat disagrees with you on Prince. They think he's a C,
Hmm.
and I concur with whatever the fuck. Let's go Naz Reid, 20 minutes as well. 3 for 5. Kind of a stinker in that first half. However, 2 key blocks in that fourth quarter. 5 fouls as per usual. 6 points in a 3, 2, 1.
D. I don't even remember. I voted in there, but I think I just thinking rethinking of his game. Like I don't know, it was just not a good game. Rebounding was atrocious for Nas tonight. I felt like it was very blatantly obvious that it was so bad tonight. I know I've heard people say that before. I haven't been really paying attention that much to his rebounding. I guess I just pay attention to everything that's not important, basically. But yeah, no. Tonight it was like just so egregiously bad. That it was like, holy cow, we need Vanderbilt in there or J-Mac or somebody who knows how to rebound. But yeah, no, it was just a bad night, and I feel like it's a D.
Ian Benjamin in chat says Nas is a B. However, Discord completely agrees with you and put him in a C or D category. So that is a range to be discussed later.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't really want to discuss that now, but I'm sorry, Benjamin.
Benjamin. Jade McDaniels, I was really worried about what I saw, but it basically is as a result of 5 fouls, 7 points, 2 for 3 from the field. Both of his threes were in the first half, and I guess he went to the line, and that's cool. 3 rebounds. I don't know how to read stats like you do, man. You're such an ace. 7 points. Did I say that already? Yeah. He wears number 3 in 3, 2, 1.
D.
I don't know. You know what you said.
I said D. I don't know.
Oh.
I don't even know what I grade because I did grade these earlier in the Discord and I've already forgotten. So it was either a C or a D. But
I'll tell you after your rationale.
Yeah, the only reason I say this is because I'm looking forward to Jaden minutes now. He seems to be proving me wrong on a nightly basis now, which is good for me because I need that to believe in him. But I am starting to believe in him. I mean, he's been making shots lately. He didn't even take that many shots tonight, but I felt good with every shot that he took. Defensively, he's fine. And I think a lot of his fouls tonight, again, he's just like the worst refereed player in the NBA right now. It's insane. But I do think that, sure, there are bad calls that go against Jaden, but there's still, there's just a lot in that where it's like he actually is fouling. It's not like 0 of his 5 fouls were... Or it's not like 0 of his 5 fouls were not fouls or something like that. He is fouling, but he just gets such a bad whistle.
As an aside, you look pretty fucking good tonight, man. I have 3 versions of you on my screen, and there's a 3-second delay, so I see the ripple effect of what you say, and it looks pretty good.
Hello to each one of me.
Yeah, there it is. Anyway, so keep that shit going, as DLO would say. But as J-Mac would say, he would say nothing. I think this is just standard Jaden, and we're gonna have to get used to this version because when he comes out at night, versions of himself, it's a high. But this is what we have to face, and maybe 5 pounds of off-season muscle will do him wonders. So eat those Baymax, Big Mac. Okay.
What did Discord say? Did Discord give him a
C? Yeah, and you also gave him a C, but it was split with a slight sway towards a B. B as in B Mac, Big Mac.
Interesting. Well, we'll put him in a C then.
Yeah, do whatever you want to do, man. It's your tier list. It's your night, man. Seize the day. Carpe the floor.
Seize the mouse.
All right, and now the bench player of the night, because we have stats, sponsored by Window Concepts and Taco Bell and dollar off pints, is Malik Beasley with 19 minutes, 6 for 9, nice, 5 for 3 from 3. Fuck yeah. Nothing else. 17 points though. Can we get a grade into 3, 2, 1?
A.
Yeah, unanimously an A.
It was a great game.
We need this. We
Yeah.
need this.
This is the Beasley we need. You know, I'm such a believer in Beasley for some reason that I almost want to go B because this is like what I almost expect from him. But but it was just such a sight for sore eyes to see Beasley hit 5 of 7 threes. And every time he shot, it was like, okay, he's going in. But it was just good to see tonight, and there's really nothing else to add.
I don't have the fourth quarter stats directly in front of me, but it feels like there was 3 people who scored in that fourth quarter. One was DLO, who just popped off, a couple of points from Cat, and like some free throws from someone else, and some points from Beasley. That is the other player that can get going on a moment's notice. And it's nice to see when we are like struggling to find a system, a rhythm. Like these guys can take it over on a dime. So
I'd be curious to see that. Like I'm not asking you to pull it up, but I'd be curious to see who scored in the fourth quarter, because
I'll let you know.
I feel like it was literally 3 players. Like it was DLO, it was Beasley, and maybe I don't even know. I don't even know if Towns scored in the fourth quarter.
Nas had a play, maybe it was a dunk, I don't know. Jaden had 2 free throws and Cat had 2 free throws. That's actually embarrassing. Yep.
Yeah, it's insane. But
wow, how did we pull that out?
It's crazy. But
you just pull it out, you just take it out.
We did. But anyways, I think Malik is an A, and obviously everybody agreed with me.
Yeah. I don't know if McIcey. I think McIcey is a comment in reference to D'Angelo, but McIcey could be McBeasley.
Maybe.
No, I don't think Beasley needs to be taking 20 shots tonight. No. That's D'Lo. All right, so I'm with you on that, Jake. And then what was the worst call of the night? What was the most egregious bullshit call that you saw?
There were multiple. So it was difficult. Jake, you're going to be better at answering this than I am because I was at the game. So I didn't get great replays of everything, and the replays were always like at the wrong place. But like there was one Cat one that was pretty bad where his arm was like this, because you can defend like this and have an arm out like this. And I don't remember if it was. I think it was. Who is it? This Timberwolves killer.
Clark. Conchar?
No, not him.
Oh,
different
Clark,
Timberwolves killer. Clark. He does this like push layup as he's like falling away from Towns, and Towns had his arm out like this, and they called Towns for like a push. That was a really bad one. Any Jaden foul could almost be argued for that. And then there was one in particular with Jared Vanderbilt that looked really bad, but I couldn't tell if he swiped down on it because it was like an offensive rebound, which the Memphis Grizzlies had a million offensive rebounds tonight. It felt like it anyways. And he goes up, blocks it seemingly, but then his hand might have come down and swiped it, but I think he hit all ball first. I don't know. It was like, that was a tricky one, but the Towns one to me was the most confusing. Maybe it was explained better on television, but like in game, I was like, I don't know why that's a foul, but reputation apparently. So
as we get into starters, just a couple stats, because I get to look at stats and talk about stats without watching the game.
Yes,
as I've said already, they had a 17 rebound advantage. Man, that's insane. They had a 4 out of the 17. They had a 14 rebound offensive rebound advantage to us, which is crazy. And they also had 14 points to our 3 points in the fast break.
Yeah,
we did nothing. Like turnovers, we just played a half court stalemate, kind of like stagnant offense, and it seemed like from lack of like production from others, that's obvious.
And the one thing I will say, my one interjection, is that I'm okay with us playing more of a half court offense, because that is what the playoffs is going to end up being. You don't get all these fast breaks. You need to be able to execute in the half court, which we did tonight. We did enough to win. So that's what I'll say about that. I'm okay seeing that, but okay. Quick update. Looks like the Nuggets are beating the Kings by almost 10 in the fourth quarter. Sad.
Unfortunate, but things are, Kings are going to Kang, even though they have the Ox and the Fox. Quick shout out to the Discord. We've said it a couple times already, but I just can't thank you enough. You make this experience like a thing. It's more than just us watching games and talking to each other. We talk with a community, just like the few of you that are joining now. It's really fun. It makes this such a adventure. And I wanted to say, if you want to, go ahead and like and share and flag for removal. I don't know. Ring that bell.
Don't do that.
And subscribe to our Discord, which may or may not be updated, because I think that link is probably expired.
Oh, you're right. It expires. I forgot about that.
So we'll create an endless link for you to endlessly join our Discord. Yeah, how fucking awesome would that be to just like join, unjoin, and rejoin? Just like relive that
Yes.
moment every time. Get that
Seriously.
emoji from me every time you rejoin. That's awesome.
Yeah, we've got emotes and everything. You
Yeah,
can
we got
boost our
some.
server, whatever that does.
Dude, that ant photo was so clutch, and then you turn that into an emoji, and it's like, oh, I just want to see that all the time.
Yes, there we go. But you got to go to the Discord to see it. So,
hmm
um, but
Speaking of
yeah,
ant, let's start with ant because I think, um, you know, my read on the game is that he wasn't ready, isn't ready, but I think he was very proactive in looking for others tonight. And you're gonna have to talk about that. You're gonna have to talk about that at length because I see 7 assists, I
Mhm.
see 2 block shots, I see 6 3-point attempts, but 6 free throws as well, and with a couple rebounds as well, and 0 fouls. 5 points, however. In Are you ready? I don't think you are, but that's okay. In 3, 2, 1.
It's a D.
It's a D.
Yeah, I mean, he has the assist numbers. He has a couple of rebounds. He went 1 for 11 shooting, and realistically, those assists, I don't. Maybe this is just me turning a little bit on Ant, a little bit. But like I think there's a lot of times where us as fans are trying to defend Ant because he's just such a likable guy,
Yeah.
and we're trying to come up, and this is what I was thinking about during the game tonight was like, I've talked about his injuries, if they are even injuries, I don't know, like his knees. I've given him those excuses. I've given him the excuse of being 20, which that is still true, but he's had plenty of game time now. He's had plenty of time to get shots up. He's had plenty of time to figure out how to drive in an NBA game. And sure, I guess it's gonna take more time. Everybody learns at different speeds, and to me, it just seems like he doesn't fully understand the game at the NBA level yet. He has the potential to be a top 5 player in the league, but right now, he's just like an accessory to our starters. I'm not saying that he's not starter worthy, but like he was 1 of 11 tonight, and I don't feel like those 7 assists were purposeful. Like, oh, Ant was like dishing like a Luka Doncic like type player that we've talked about him, us wanting him to be. I don't really feel like that's the case, because he's not converting on his shots. He's more so just passing out of his dribbling like step back three. He's just not taking those step back threes as much. He's still taking them, but it's not like 10 a game. Tonight probably like 5 or 6 or something. I don't know, but um, yeah, I wouldn't say that it's offensively. I don't feel like it was that purposeful tonight, and I feel like he was just lost out there. Defensively, he had some incredible plays tonight on Ja Morant. There was one possession in particular that got the crowd standing because he had stopped him. It was so exciting, and I hope that the crowd continues to cheer defense because I need these players to play defense like they did a few times tonight on Ja. It was so exciting. I mean, he couldn't get across half court, and then he did. Ant was just all over him, almost stole it, and the crowd was just nuts. It was so fun. But defensively, it was a fun night for him. Offensively, he's just lost, and it's there's no excuses anymore. This is like, although I will keep the 21. Him being 20 years old, I'm going to keep that until he's 21. But
You'll say, oh, he's 21.
Yeah, exactly. But no, offensively, there's just no excuse. He missed a ton of shots after having a break where he could have gotten a lot of shots up, gotten rest. He should be hypothetically better, but I guess he's got rust. I don't know.
We're not ready to blow teams out yet. We're still at that stage of trying to figure out what's our best play call. It's like crazy, and Ant needs to find that out, but he has no time this season because all of his time is due to recovery, is all for recovery because he has another game tomorrow. So he can't learn really from this game except for he's just got to play better. Okay, what does play better mean? He can't get coached about it. He can only get like benched and like reprimanded for his actions.
Mm-hmm.
And then he'll just be out there and just do his own instinctual like play because that's what his game is about. It's like taking over when he needs to, when he feels like it's time. And usually like getting a couple buckets early fuels his offense, and then his defense sometimes fuels his offense. Right now we're kind of finding an Ant where he's like, as you say so poignantly, like not clueless, but like figuring out the NBA, and we are relying on a 20-year-old to produce for us. And even like our bench is young, and like even our stars are young. So it's like, we have time to grow. And like, I guess this is more of like a statement than like a commentary or anything. It's just like, this team is young, man. Like the team is going to get blown out in the playoffs regardless. And it's just going to be growing from here. And so like there's gonna be some pains, there's gonna be some like retooling of the roster and stuff, but like we gotta trust kind of what is building and playing on instincts and learning through the offseason, and like when there's a moment to stretch into like like gameplay adjustments, like that'll be great. But like we don't really have that, like, you know, like whisperer yet. You know, we don't have, we may have had that in like Rubio and David Vanterpool, but they went off to other pastures. So, you know, we got to find that, and maybe Beverly is that person. So, you know, between now and, you know, next year, let's see what kind of happens with Ant, and like what he takes seriously, and like, you know, he really loves himself, man. Like I love that he went back home immediately after that Rising Stars game, because he probably just took it upon himself to rest and not get distracted by whatever the crap happens at night in Cleveland. Like I like that he was with his people.
He was on that private jet within 30 minutes of the game.
Yeah,
that was insane.
JBX says he forced a couple shot clock violations on Morant Lane. Like that's so awesome, man. I like Beverly rubs off on Ant, just like, you know, Rubio rubbed off on Ant, just like, you know, his own play is infectious and rubs himself. Jesus, you know what I mean? Like, so let's rub one out for Ant. Yeah, what 1 for 11 is ass. So a D is fine. You know, ants have compound eyes.
Yeah, I will say the last thing I'll say on Ant is, you know, his defense for a 20-year-old tonight was insane. Like, unbelievable. Like, everybody should take notice. The league needs to notice and figure out how to get Ant switched off of the defender as a 20-year-old, because he's going to get better. Offensively tonight, it was atrocious, and everybody should laugh at him. So that's basically what it came down to. I will say, I am very excited to see Pat Bev in the playoffs. I am very excited to see Ant in the playoffs, because both of them, especially defensively, and Taurean Prince even to some degree, are going to be hounding on defense. And when they have purpose like that to play for, it's going to be insane.
You just got me like excited. You got my heart racing, and I just like got up. I was like, yes, I want that. I want to see that, because I think that's going to make a statement for our team moving forward. The NBA worldwide is going to recognize what this team is capable of in those moments, and I think Beverly's going to be the cultural like footprint for this team moving forward. I love it. So thank you for bringing me to my feet, standing for DLO, who's going to be not next. Let's go to Beverly. Yeah, let's talk about Beverly. 13 points. That's incredible. 4 for 7 from 3. So that's where all of his production was. Shooting like Steph Curry in the All-Star game. Are you ready for a grade?
Yeah, I think so.
3, 2, 1.
B plus.
Ooh, I like that. You know, that pause, that slow roll.
Yeah.
Into a grade.
Only reason I say B plus instead of an A, because I'm sure a lot of people are going to want to say A, just because. I mean, maybe not. I don't know. From the game perspective, like, it's hard not to give him an A, because everybody was going insane for anything Pat Bev did. Anything.
Even his mom, who was wearing an I Love Pat Bev shirt.
Yeah,
tonight.
It's so funny. But it was cool to see his mom there. It was cool to see Pat Bev have a really good game. I will say that this wasn't like overly insanely amazing. I mean, he had some defensive plays as well that forced. I think he forced another shot clock violation, or maybe 2 even. But he had some great plays defensively. He got our offense going in times when we didn't. He only shot, I think, like 4 of 10 or something like that. Let me see. I guess I can just look at the stats. 4 of 12, and all 4 were threes. Yeah, no, it was a fun Pat Bev game for sure. But like, if we're grading him on the tier list, I think it's probably fair to give him a B. I'm curious to know what the Discord said, though.
Right there with you, unanimously.
Okay. Yeah, it was a good game. It wasn't an overly great game, but it was exciting. So it was an exciting B game. So I think that makes sense.
I gotta scooch on over a little bit. I feel like my face is getting cut off. And actually, I don't know. Maybe I should just get comfortable with just being cut off. That's pretty great, honestly. Cool. I agree with you completely. I love what he did that I didn't see, because I didn't see the game. Did I tell you that I didn't see the game yet? Let's move on to built from day one's very own number 8 V8 Jarrett Vanderbilt. 28 minutes, 7 points, fouls out with 2 steals, 12 rebounds, 4 of them offensive. and a free throw. My friend, are you ready?
I guess.
3, 2, 1.
B+ again.
B+ again.
This was a good game.
How original. You have all these letters to choose from.
The reason I give B+, and I probably gave a different grade in the Discord. I'm like all over the place.
No, you're fine.
But I think tonight it was super exciting to see Jared Vanderbilt return, the built from day one Jared Vanderbilt that we expect. He was in there getting rebounds early and often, and he was even scoring a little bit again. He had the steals. He is a V8 engine. He was back. V8 back. But at the same time, him being back doesn't mean like that he's going to take over scoring or something like that. But he was just so needed tonight, which is unfortunate that he did foul out. He did have a lot of fouls tonight. And to be honest, I wasn't really paying attention so much to his fouls as much as I was like Towns and Jaden, people like that.
Yeah.
But, to have Jaden, V8, and Towns all have 5 or 6 fouls, like, that's insane. You can't have that.
Yeah. So, I mean, a lot of that's discipline and just like, within the margins, knowing how to get away with things. It's just like, what other team in the NBA gets the same 3 bigs and the same amount of fouls every game? It's only us. And we lead the league in fouls, and they're trying to, like, live us up to our reputation. So we got to play more resilient D and more within like the flow and not like try to be with our hands. We got to play with our bodies more.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, he's what did I say? Yeah, I said B. That's what everybody said.
I think with the exception of one person, one all-star himself.
Okay.
Who said a D apparently. But that's cool. We got some outliers in there. You got to remember in science class, you got to take those outliers out and then, concentrate the mean, median, mode, and median, and then you get a B.
Yeah, I think, the only thing last thing I'll add on Vando is that he was getting passed the ball by Towns in these like insane situations where Towns is being doubled or tripled.
Don't ever do that, Kat.
And he's in like not like within like in a dunker spot or something. Like he's underneath the basket with players all around him. Like there's just nothing he can do. It was really bad. But
yeah, that shit's weak sauce.
It sure is.
Yeah, we need garlic sauce. We need some spicy mustard, sriracha, like they say in Chicagoland.
Wow.
All right, Chicagoland, not their very own, but Cat. Let's go, Cat. 28 minutes, 22 points, but 14 of that 22 was in the first half. He went 9 for 19, which is just a shade above 50%, but only 2 for 4 from the 3-point contest king. Meow, the king Meow. Only 2 for 4. That's a little disconcerting. And 11 rebounds, which is cool. Welcome back to the double club, my friend. With 5 fouls and 3 assists. Are you ready for a grade for Cat?
Yeah.
In 3, 2, 1.
C.
C as in C?
C as in cat.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was. I didn't particularly like this game from Towns. However, he is what I'm remembering now. He was kind of the one that got our offense going in that second quarter a little bit. He was the one that kind of brought us back into the realm of possibility of coming back in this game. I wouldn't. This still was not a great Towns game. I mean, he had a lot of like the behind the back passes. He came out really bad from 3 to start. I mean, he only took 4, but like he took 2 right away and missed both of them. And then I think the next 2 he did, because he was 2 for 4, so he made the next 2. And I think they were either consecutive or really close together. But I don't know. I said a lot of it earlier, but like he had some of the behind the back passes to like Vanderbilt in the paint. When he's in the paint too, it's just like gross and like it's unnecessary because there are times when that works and it is purposeful and like actually yields you something, and there's times where it's just for show, and it was just for show tonight seemingly. Yeah, go ahead.
If you were to just like close your eyes for a second, let's just pretend that we made this like colossal trade for Ben Simmons or something. Ben Simmons right there. They wouldn't triple team him. They wouldn't double team him. They would sag off of him and say, hey, shoot the ball, right? So the very fact that Cat has the ball in his hands and he's getting doubled is already like an attractive quality to his game. They know that we are struggling to find offense, but like, can Cat make reliable plays? Like that is what I want to see from him. In that second quarter, it looks like he took it upon himself. 10 points, 100% from the field, 2 for 2 from 3. Yes, more of that. Like 1 assist. So he said, like, it's all me right now because we couldn't find anything else. I want an aggressive, selfish, 25 shot chucking cat
Yeah.
a game. I need that because our team, I think, needs to rest a little bit in the games. And I think our best offense is literally cat shooting anywhere on the court. Even those like stupid, like, let's go to OT versus Memphis kind of like half court heaves.
Yes.
Let's make sure that cat gets 20 shots a night, because 25 shots a night, because we need to like find other forms of offense, but not always, right? We don't need to like get others going always. We just got to get the win, get the hell out of here and get the win.
Yeah, I'm all for exactly what you're saying. 25 shots a night. I mean, I'm okay with some logo shots. Like, seriously, he needs to shoot, because obviously winning 3-point contest, I mean, sure, maybe that doesn't quantify, that doesn't make him, as the Timberwolves are saying so loudly on Twitter and in game, that he's the best shooting big man of all time. You know, I obviously those conversations are just like, you know, they're just meant to be conversation starters, and you know, it's hard to like compare, because everybody in Dallas is like, oh, Dirk is the best, and you know, there's just differences. I mean, Dirk has won championships and Towns has done nothing so far, but you know, Towns is a unicorn in the ability that he can shoot from the logo and make threes consistently, not like, oh, 1 in 20. Like, he could, I bet you he could shoot from the logo and go minimum 10 for 20 in a game, you know. Ooh. So you know, I think
10 for 20.
I think, you know, he could do that. Not that I'm saying I necessarily want that, but he has that ability, and I feel like we're still like, and I don't know if this is Finch or what, but like, and Finch has even said some things that are kind of concerning, where he's like, yeah, like he could, like, we need to get him in the paint, and like, it's like Towns is not that good, and if we can really make a threat from 3 and get defenders further out, if we have those doubles happening at the 3-point line instead of in the paint, then Ant can cut, then Taurean Prince can cut, Jaden can cut, DLO can even cut. You know, we can have pick and rolls. There's just so much more room for things to happen, but we always get Towns in these like very congested situations that just frustrate him, frustrate everybody on the team, because they can't get the ball. It's just overall a frustrating situation. But anyways, I'm going off on a tangent on Towns. And
Tange, my friend, Tange.
Yeah, and I would say just that, you know, Towns tonight overall was meh. I just didn't love it tonight. However, we don't win this game without him, but you could say that any night with Towns. So,
well, you don't spell me out without meh. So,
yeah. What would you say?
I don't know. Okay. It was in and out. Ask who's listening.
I'll just say he was a C tonight. This was the Towns that I expect.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, I hope for more, but this is the Towns that I probably expect. So
yeah, welcome back to reality. You had quite a weekend, my friend Kat. You had those interviews that made you like look mightier than you were, but also touting your success, because getting into the All-Star game is great. You know, supporting your teammates in the Rising Stars game is awesome, and then just killing it in the 3-point contest. But this is reality right here, and we need you on your A game, on an A-tier game, A-tier list game on a nightly basis. Otherwise, I don't feel like we have a choice other than to feed Ant for chucking for 30 a night, and we can't win on that, because look at what he's doing, right?
We have to rely on our streaky shooters like DLO and Beasley and even Ant. You know, and those aren't nightly producers. No. You know, Towns is a nightly producer every night. Yeah, we need more from him. We just need more.
It's actually regardless of how he plays, how he looks, and how the defenses play, he gets his 20 and 10.
No matter
25 and like 8. You know, like it's no matter what. But I feel like we need more.
Yeah.
We're just kind of trying to get some more out of you, my friend.
Quality plays.
Speaking of quality.
Oh, yeah.
How about Jim Pete? You wouldn't know. And neither would I, because I didn't watch the game, if I hadn't told you. But that one fucking call, my friend, when he was like, Dave Benz was like, the Wolves chatting defense. And Jim Pete interrupts him like right there. And he's like, they should be saying rebound. And God, that's the greatest fucking line in the night, because like that's all we needed to do was rebound, and we couldn't do that. Anyways, Brandon Clark with that putback or whatever to tie the game. Anywho, D'Lo, 38 minutes, 37 points. Is that a coincidence? I think so. 13 for 21 from the field, 3 for 8 from 3, 8 for 9 from the free throw line. Can I get a what? I don't know. What? And then 9 assists as well. 4 turnovers to go with 1 steal. Are you ready for a grade? I think I know what you're going to say. So I'm going to give you 1 second. 1.
A1.
There it is. You didn't even need more teamwork. It's like, let's go.
It was, I mean, this was like an all-time D'Lo game. It was everything was working for him, especially in that fourth quarter. The first three quarters were honestly, I didn't really notice or care that much. I mean, he had a few turnovers tonight. He had a couple shots that were like, "What are you doing?" But the fourth quarter made up for it all. Very similar to the game that he had in against the 76ers, who we play tomorrow. But it was very similar to that. It was a very fun D'Lo game. He made a lot of shots. He was making clutch shots, and we were kind of trading baskets in the fourth quarter, back and forth with Memphis. It was back and forth and back and forth. We would catch up and tie them. They would hit a three. We catch up and tie them. We'd hit a three. It was just it was just back and forth. And this is one of those games that I talk about every other show where it's like D'Lo just has this ability to make soul crushing shots, and tonight was one of those nights. You're gonna get a couple games like this with him. You hope for many games like this with him, but this is the D'Lo that we get, and this is the good side of D'Lo that we want to see all the time. He was great tonight, especially that fourth quarter. 37 points is incredible. I think he had 23 of them in the fourth quarter or something like that. This is just an all-time D'Lo game, maybe even in his career.
Yeah,
but
absolutely. It's leadership. It's leadership blow. It's like D'Lo with the leadership. Capital. I don't know what I'm fucking saying. I'm trying to keep going with that, but yeah, man. Like you could score 50 a night if you really want to, and like, what does that really impact? It impacts like your individual success. The way that he can orchestrate an offense in a moment and like get Beasley a wide open three and get Cat in the paint where he needs to be is like next level. We need a player like that. We need a guy who can distribute the way he does, and we don't have that. We try to mimic Jokic with Cat. We try to mimic Harden with Ant. We don't have that. We don't have that yet or ever. We need someone who can just do it on the regular, and that's what we have in D'Lo. And sometimes Beverly can be that like pseudo second ball handler, and that's great to see that our backcourt can do the things that we need to do to get successful production on possession because every possession matters. That's what I feel like D'Lo his strengths are. Is he takes possessions to kind of reassert like where he needs to find himself, and sometimes he loses himself in that, but like the 4 turnovers is as a result. But like you see the way he can box out or can't, and you can see the way that he can like kind of press on defense, and then that turns into like a steady offense. Like I feel like the transition, we don't lose a step when we see have him go on defense to offense, and I think having him with the ball in his hands produces the best quality shots on our team right now. And maybe it'll be scouted out, maybe it'll be defended well against. But then maybe our B-roll, our C tier plays of Cat passing and Ant driving will shine because they're gonna double up on Russell and D'Lo. And like I think that's what we need to see. We need to see more defenses reacting to D'Lo, and games like this is gonna happen. Like because then others are gonna get involved, and when others get involved, then D'Lo gets paid off. And so right now they're tripling Cat, so D'Lo runs off. Like it's a one in every like 15 games here where we see D'Lo pop off, but like I don't know, we might need to see 1 in every 5 now. We got to up the amplitude because we have 25 games left. We can't really just have one more of these games.
And we really need, honestly, we probably need every 1 in 3 games for, I mean, maybe not 37 points, but like we need serious production out of D'Lo because that's just how big threes work. You need to have one of the players take the other play, like get the doubles, the triples, so the other players can work. And that's kind of what I was talking about with like Towns. Towns we're going to get production every night. It's just a matter of how many people are going to be doubling or tripling him, because it's like if he's being tripled, then we have to have Ant go off. We have to have D'Lo go off. And if they are all working in unison and going off every single night, or at least every game or two, then I mean we're going to be a contender in the playoffs. But if it's just Towns going off every night, and we are relying on 1 in 10 D'Lo games or 1 in 20 Ant games or whatever it is, it's like you can't. You're not gonna. I mean, sure, like Towns is a good enough player that he could win a game and take over. Have we seen how often have we seen that? We haven't seen that very often, but like we know it's a possibility. But with the others, we need nights like this more. So.
Yeah, great point. Transition to tomorrow because we have back-to-backs galore for the rest of the season. Apparently,
yeah.
Tied for like 6th or 5th, most difficult schedule remaining. We're playing against potential MVP candidate Joel Embiid tomorrow. So is Cat coming to play tomorrow? Is Cat gonna just love on Embiid's kid, or what kind of version of Cat are we seeing tomorrow? Do you
Yeah,
predict?
I think we'll see dialed in Cat tomorrow. I mean, he's always dialed in against Embiid. I don't know if it's necessarily so much of a personal thing against these other
Oh,
centers,
sure.
more of
Mm-hmm.
just like a status thing. He has to be known. He wants to be known as one of the better centers. I mean, we could go on what we think about Towns' personalities and the different things like this, but like that is clearly something that is important to him. Sure, maybe there's been bad blood in the past, but I do think he's gonna show up. Also, he's just good against bigs like Embiid. He like, and that's why I was sort of shocked to see them have. I mean, they don't have any other option, but like Steven Adams, they have to double and triple then Towns because Steven Adams cannot handle Towns. Towns can blow by him even if he's not as fast as he was rookie year, second year, third year. He can still blow by him this year. And obviously, him being at the 3-point line, Steven Adams is a terrible perimeter defender. It feels like. So it's just, yeah. I think he's gonna have a good game. I think it's gonna be interesting to see James Harden play on their team because they're gonna have a whole new system, and James Harden has been the problem, I guess, now for now, not Denver. What am I saying? For the Nets, and I mean even Houston before he left. It was kind of like, oh gosh, like can he be the leader? Because he's never made it to the finals. So it'll be their first game. I think Towns will have a good game. If you're doing prize picks and stuff like that, I'm probably going to pick the over on whatever Towns has, points wise, just because I think points wise he's going to be
And
dominant. Rebounds wise, not so much. We need an Ant game. We absolutely need a great Ant game, offensively and defensively. And to have another DLO game would also be good, and I think that's a possibility. I mean, the defense on their end is probably not stellar against point guards. I guess I haven't looked at any stats, but I feel as if that's probably a case, and that would make sense with DLO going off against them the last time we played. So I don't know. What are you expecting? Are you expecting a win or a loss tomorrow?
well, I'm not going to go that far with a prediction. Oh, we're going to win. We're going to kick their ass. No, I'm just kidding. I don't really know because this is a new version of the Sixers that no one has actually ever seen. And I think they're going to have some growing pains, and coming kind of flat out of the All-Star break is what I expect every team to be. So I think we're going to be a little bit more jazzed and ready and motivated than they might be. I don't know, has Harden played in a season in a professional game in the last month? I'm not sure. And they're they look like they've been gutted. Like they don't have the bench that they used to have, and they're gonna have to rely on Danny Green and Korkmaz a lot more than they used to. And I guess Paul Millsap is their backup big. Like that is a twilight statement for a career-ending, player. So I don't know what that was. I don't know what that English. That was not English, but they're gonna have to change their offense considerably. And like, you know, are they going to get the line 50 times a night? I'm not sure. Is it going to be just ISO James Harden and black hole offense on Joel Embiid? I'm not sure, but we're going to be in foul trouble. I know that much, but I have good faith in the Patrick Beverly on Harden, Ant on Maxey and Tybal, and like Vando on Harris. And Cat plays even with Embiid. I think it's a really good chance for us because D'Lo's hot. Beasley's hot. They don't have anyone that can match that kind of intensity from three. And Ant can, on a moment's notice, blow up. And they don't have that player except for James Harden. But James Harden was like fat for fucking like 8 months. So, we got to figure that all out too, or they have to figure that out. And I also don't think they're that strong. Their depth chart is like 3 deep, and I think they're a year away from like a championship run. So, without even playing a game, I'm feeling pretty confident in a competitive game. And this will be an end of a back-to-back, and we could like break that streak of whatever the crap that was. But I'm hoping for a win because we're gonna need these types of games because we have like 3 or 4 Wordles to miss in the rest of the season, right? We don't have any room to guess if we're gonna guess right or wrong. We got to get our vowels and our consonants, man. We got to get them in a flow in the order, and then we got to do Wordle, Girdle, right? We got to do them again. I don't know what I'm saying. Stop me.
I kind of love that analogy that you just used,
Shit.
because I do think that, we kind of have to get things right and right quick. We have to get everything in the right place so that we can, at the end, solve it before we run out of guesses, because the playoffs are in 21 games or whatever. So we don't have that many options. We need to figure it out now. And by figure it out, I mean, like, we need to be clicking now. This isn't like, oh, let's wait like 5-10 games and like kind of settle into our playoff groove. It's now, because as we've said before, we need to be strong, and if we can get that 6th seed, man, that's huge. That's so huge. I will say, with the standings, we are basically a lock for the playoffs right now. We said this before the All-Star break, but it's not like tonight.
Play-in. We're a lock for a play-in.
Play-in. Yeah, sorry, play-in. For sure, a lock for the play-in. I think our magic number is something like 14 or something like that. I'm not sure. But
I don't know what that means.
But like, we're like 9 games above the 11 seed. So like, it would be insane. We would have to have literally all 3 of our big 3 stop playing games.
Why did they trade for Sabonis then? What are they doing? They're going to be in the 12th seed. Or they're going to be in the 11th seed. Like, what's happening? I don't understand that trade.
They're in the 13 seed right now.
Yeah.
So it's...
But, like, that's the team that's probably going to be doing the best out of all of them. Like, maybe New Orleans. But, okay, so Philly's in Minnesota. That's what I was afraid of. I thought we were traveling to Philly. I am feeling even more confident. I need to get some, like, Cash App, Money, DraftKings account going and like drop them NFTs on them bitches, because I think I need some sort of passive income, and this is a bet, man. I think this is going to be a good game from us. I think we're going to win this. I talk myself into a win.
I'm cautiously optimistic, but I do agree. I think we have a good matchup. I think here's my key to the game. My window concepts key to the game tomorrow night is the play of anybody that's not a big name on their team, because if their bench, if Maxey goes off, Korkmaz, those types of players, they're going to be the deciding. The Danny Greens. Danny Green is still on their team, right?
Yeah.
After the trade, yeah. Those are the players that I am curious to know. Like, if they go off, I think we lose, because I think exactly what you said. Like, Cat and Embiid are kind of even. We've got everything out, like Vando on whoever it is, whoever they have, I can't remember. But
T. Hair.
Oh, they still have Harris. Yes, Harris. All of those matchups I'm comfortable with. It's the players beyond the main players that I'm like, okay, if they go off, if they have like a Korkmaz night, if they have a Franz Wagner night, if they have all of these different players that go off on the Timberwolves only, like, if they have that, they're gonna win. But I think we have a good shot tomorrow, and boy, oh boy, would it be a huge win for us.
They would kill to have Wagner.
And especially back-to-back home games, get the crowd even more involved, ready for the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's just, the Timberwolves have done this teasing all season long of like really getting close to being like, oh my gosh, we're like national headlines because of how good we are. Yeah. And even in game, they do this too. They hit like a shot, they go down, get a stop, the crowd's ready to burst, like brick or air ball or turnover. Just like the worst, like, killing of momentum. But it's just slowly been building, and hopefully it starts to erupt tomorrow. Yeah. So,
right. I also remember James Harden's last game against us as a net. Like, he was asked, and maybe he was just like doing it because he's a sad state of a human being. But that was how he was playing. Like, is it going to be radically different from that? I hope not. But yeah, I'm pretty confident about tomorrow. And like you said, Friday night playoff like atmosphere. Standing for DLO.
Yes.
I hope you're going.
I'll be standing. I don't know if it's by myself or not, but I will be standing.
If I was there, I'd be by your side, my friend.
I appreciate it. But anyways.
With a mask on.
Yeah, I know. I brought 2 masks to the game tonight. But that's it for tonight. I guess we don't need to go much. We went an hour and 16 minutes. My God, and we have a game tomorrow. So yeah, tomorrow night we will be back, and we will be talking Timberwolves.
I'll be there.
And what's their name? The 76ers? I'm forgetting already. By the way, the Nuggets just won, and the Warriors just won. Not that that matters, but the Blazers lost again. So again, another brick into the cementing of us being in the play-in game.
I love that. Sure. That metaphor goes deep on so many layers.
But yeah. So we'll see you tomorrow night. I appreciate everybody that stopped by. I appreciate all the chats, the Discord, the
My
viewers,
gosh.
Timberwolves Daily, Gerald, JBX, the Big Boy, Ashwin, Jelson
Cameron.
ratioing us.
The big Cam.
Benjamin, everybody that joins us tonight. But yeah, no. Join the Discord. I guess we'll get a new link in there, but
yeah. And you got to change the Nightbots Discord as well. It's the same
I saw that
link.
too. I was like, oh no. But yeah. Anyways, I appreciate you all. We're done. Intro as the outro.
As the outro. That was my line.
That is, I guess it could be your line. You can say it.
No, your line. I just want to take it from a night. All right.
Intro is the outro. We're seriously
Bye.
done.
I'm gonna take after you. Bye.
Goodbye.